Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our session. Today, I will be your main facilitator, along with Miss Newton, who will be my co facilitator for today. Our topic today is understanding stress and cognitive restructuring. Today, we're going to talk about stress, what stress feels like, and how our thoughts can make us feel even worse.
Yes, we will also look at how avoiding things like procrastinations and fear of failure can actually increase our stress level instead of making them better.
Okay, thank you, Miss Newton. Can anyone tell us what stress feels like for them and when they are dealing with stress? What they do? Anyone in the group?
For me, stress feels like something that you can't control. It can be it doesn't have to be work stress alone. It can be personal issue. What I do to control stress is like take myself
Thank you for sharing, Rashana. Anybody else want to say anything?
So I get nervous sometimes. I start like putting things off because I feel like I might fail. I might fail at, or at stress and cognitive like restructuring. So when I feel stressed, I tend to like, get this feeling, that I'm going to put off thing and then it becomes very overwhelming for me. And it brings pressure.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Um, Thank you for sharing your thoughts about stress with us. Many people respond to stress in in the way stress and cognitive restructuring can affect us in ways physically, emotionally, and mentally.
Thank you, Miss Newton. Let's talk about what caused us to most stressed in our life. What situation make you feel the most stress and what causes that situation? Okay, I can go. So for me right now, the main thing that is causing me a lot of stress, I don't want to say it's assignments, but you have to come home from work, have to run home from work, got run into an assignment. Sometimes we might get a test the next day. Everything is all over the place. You start feeling anxious. You don't know what to do at that point in time. That's for me. Anybody else want to share any thoughts?
Well, for me, I thinking like, family expectations. Um, like I feel like so pressure to do like, all like when it comes to like my family and plus I have my deadlines and I have so much going on, it's like they expect me to be this person. Then I myself is stressed, and then sometimes I come home from work and they just be like, expecting me to do this, expecting me to complete this, but I have my own things going on for me, like academically, especially, as you mentioned before. There is exams, there is tests, there is so much. And the family still expect you to come home and be that big of person. So for me, family expectation.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Anybody else want have anything to share?
Okay.
So,
For me, it would be work overload because even though you're home, for me personally, I still have to do work even though I'm home. So I can have a day off or it's in the evening, and my boss tend to still call. But it's the small tasks to get done. So it's not just about being in the work environment, and it can take a toll on me sometimes.
Okay,
So
thank
it's
you
like
for
a
sharing.
overload.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, so let's have a quick check-in before we continue. So, like how we just share, what can cause a little burnt out or make you feel stressed throughout. In some cases, can we say how we would deal with these situations? Like you say, family expectation, like you said, work overload, anything that you can tell us in ways we can deal with some of these situations, or you think you would do to deal with your situation.
For me, I find when I'm feeling stressed, I just need to take a break. If I don't take a break, I feel like I am just destroying myself. And when I say destroying, I just don't mean like physically, but I feel like mentally I am not there. Like if somebody come to me and I am in that state of stress, it's like I will completely ignore you because I cannot deal with your problem whilst I am dealing with my struggles. And they might not see my struggle because most time it's mentally. Most time it seems to be mentally, and then I might lash out. And that's why I just try and stay away for a little while and then come again. That's how I do it.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, so for example, we might think if we fail this test, I'm a failure. That is where stress cognitive restructuring comes. If you fail a test, it's okay. It's just one test we can actually make up for that test. Let's say we fail this first test, we can make up in the other test. But our mind is telling us that, oh, you fail this one test, that's it. You're going downhill, your GPA gonna fall, you're not gonna graduate, and everything will just start piling up again. And be like, oh, what should I do next to make it better? Anyways, let's continue. That thought can increase our anxiety. The thought of failure. You get anxious, like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? If I fail, my mother might think, my family might think, everybody might, just, oh, you went all them years in UG just for doing graduate. And you can tell the load of procrastination and the stress and everything and just start piling up on you. But then we can just sit down and think, all right, let's farm a little table. If I come home, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And it's not the other day. So let's just take off a little bit pressure off ourselves. Not just coming home and rush into everything every afternoon. Okay. Anybody else? Everybody have anything they want to add or share before we continue?
So, just to move forward, exactly all of those things that we face, they are very unhealthy. It's unhealthy thought that can lead one, that could be one test does not define me. I can improve stress and cognitive restriction. So, as Miss was saying, that sometimes we feel because I lost one exam, then I can't make it up in the second exam, or this might cause my GPA to be so low, right? But all it takes is us to just restructure our thought. Like, you know what? It's okay how I failed, yes, and it's okay. But how I move forward is what matters because I still have a final exam. I still have many courses to go through that I can make up back that grade. So failure does not define your future.
Thank you for sharing. This process of restructuring is called cognitive restructuring. It's changing the negative thought into a more positive, balanced thought, something that you could work with instead of thinking, I don't fail the one exam, maybe we'll fight up on the next one. We can change that thought. We can say, all right, I missed this one. Let me study more or do what I didn't do the last time to make up this time. If
You
we
know what?
understand where we're going.
what we say there, when I had to write stats, I remember I wasn't well during that season. And I turned up, I write the first exam. I didn't get to go the other one because I wasn't feeling well. And then I turned up at the final and really thought to myself, you know what, I could just write what I know. Unfortunately, I did not know anything on that paper, and I walked out of that stat, and I did not do well. But at this point right now, I'm telling myself that I have to restructure, and I know I have to get stats. So I didn't have a choice, and if I want to finish UG, I must finish stats.
That's not everybody. Okay, continuing. So, anybody else before we continue, sorry, anybody in the group have anything they want to share, a little tip on how we might, help restructure a negative thought into like a positive one? Anybody else in the group?
You can just think about the reason you started the journey.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think about, yeah, just that's what Miss Roshana would have said. Yeah, you think about the reason why you started in the first place. Because lately, to be honest, with university and all these expectations that society have for us and all of these things, it's just been like overwhelming to a point where I feel like, I should just give up. But I gotta remind myself I made this far and it's for a purpose. So, I just keep reminding myself, as we would have talk about last night, is how we talk to ourselves in these situations. But like I try to remind myself, that I'm in this for a purpose and it's just a season and all of this is going to come and it's going to pass. So I just try to talk positive about myself and move forward, just like what Shauna would have said.
Yes, because come when we go walk across the stage and just skin with teeth, I'm like, yeah, all the stress, done. Okay, so let's try a little thought recording. The situation is an upcoming exam. Our thought might be, I will fail. Anxiety, the feeling, anxiety start go up to the roof. And a restructuring thought can be, I can prepare to do my best on this exam. So instead of me saying, oh, me know nothing, I can just feel, maybe fight up. We could say, oh, all right, man. I know nothing. Yeah, it might be the night before exam, but I can read one line, and the one line could probably get my little something on the exam. So because our thoughts influence how we feel and how we respond to stress, it can change most of our perspective on certain things. In case whereby our exam coming up, test tomorrow, we're gonna say, we ain't gonna fight up, but rain can't fall, dew can't fall. I'm going to sleep, and tomorrow when the exam come, I'm gonna do whatever I do. But in some cases, but rain can't fall, dew is full because we could read a couple lines in the book and we could go through it. So any thoughts before we move on to our final discussion? Anything anybody want to ask? Any stress level advice anybody want to give
For
before we
me,
close the session?
okay, for me personally, what I do when I'm stressed and overloaded, I would take a step back. But I have a playlist that I use, a structured playlist for every different feeling of my life. If I'm sad, music is something that I use to cope with a lot of stuff in my life. If I'm sad, I have a sad playlist. If I'm happy, I have a happy playlist. If I want to feel nostalgic, like back in the days, I have my oldies playlist. So music in a whole, it's not just something it's not just rhythm. There are meaning in songs, and I tend to feel relaxed And I just go back to the situation the next day in a different mindset. So I tend to use music as my answer to deal with it.
You see, that's a restructuring technique. If it don't work one way, we try another way. Okay, as we continue, remember our goal is not to be perfect when it comes to dealing with stress. And it's not for us to be like, all right, I got to make it right. It's got to go this way. It got to go the way. It's learning of ways we can restructure and learning ways we can go through our daily lives without being so stressful. So, in closing, just a little reminder, thank you for everyone that shared today. Thank you for participating throughout our session. And to go with, just remember, it's always where we can restructure our stress thinking pattern, and we can always find another way around what is stressing us. And we come to a close for session today. Hope to see you next week. And thank you for everyone for sharing. Miss Nisha, would you like to say anything?
Yes, just a little reminder before our session close. We would like you all to notice one stressful, that is your, you in your quiet moment, you think about that. One stressful situation and write down that thought. When you finish writing down that thought, restructure it. Because at this moment, all of us are here. There's something that's on our mind currently. We know that this assignment is due sometime this week, and we at that stage where we're very unsure. Or maybe that's one of the things that is stressing you. But we would advise that you restructure it. It's always important to restructure thoughts. We find that people commit suicide because they don't know how to deal with stress. They don't know how to restructure certain things. We find that people find themselves drinking alcohol because they don't know how to deal with stress. So us now, we are here together, and hopefully that we're able to restructure our thoughts during this process and support each other. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here as well with us and sharing your feelings with us.
Anybody would like to say anything before we go? If
Mhm.
so,
Thank you. Also, we appreciate this session. It was very important and very like eye-opening because sometimes not just for academic alone or for our university life, we end up in situations that we feel like, because one thing didn't work, that's the only thing that's going to work. And we become so frustrated with that. So we don't really think about restructuring. So it is important, it was important and it helped me to open my eyes and, see that if one thing is not working, it's always good to start something else or try something else if this way is not working. As we would say, if plan A ain't working, plan B, or if mommy can't do it, let me go to granny.
exactly. We try plan A, B, or C, D. Okay, thank you all for coming today again. Thank you for sharing. We learned from each other, and we're sure to see you next week. Thank you.
Take care for now.
Okay, you could stop recording.